In the heart of the forest, where the trees grow taller than the eye can follow and darkness drapes over every path, a group of travelers vanished without a trace. Their footprints ended at the edge of a clearing, their campfires still smoldering, and their voices, once full of laughter, never echoed again. No one saw what took them. No one heard their last words. And yet, the forest remembers. Every whisper of wind, every rustle in the underbrush, seems to hint at a presence just beyond sight, watching, waiting, lingering. This was the last place anyone ever saw them, and to this day, the world cannot explain what happened next. Tonight, we journey into 3 forest nightmares that remain unsolved. Real events, captured in fleeting glimpses and chilling reports, where ordinary nights became unforgettable horrors. Each story is different, each ending more disturbing than the last. Stay with us, because the first story will leave you questioning every shadow you see after dark, every sound in the trees, and every place you thought was safe. Watch closely, listen carefully, and see if you can make sense of what follows, and tell us, if you dare, which of these nightmares would be impossible to survive. It began like any other weekend. 4 friends set out for a remote stretch of forest, far from roads, far from neighbors, far from anyone who might hear them if trouble came. The sun was dipping behind jagged treetops as they hiked deeper, the scent of pine thick in the air, sharp and earthy. Somewhere in the distance, a coyote howled, a lonely note that seemed almost mournful, and the forest seemed to respond with silence, heavy and complete. They set up camp near a small clearing, the fire crackling, sparks rising like tiny ghosts into the gathering night. Laughter echoed at first, voices carried on the wind, but even in the warmth of the firelight, there was a sense of watching, something unseen shifting just beyond the circle of flames. And yet, they pressed on, unaware that this night would be different from any other they had known. Hours passed, and small, strange things began to appear. Shadows moved where there should have been none, flickering at the edge of their sight. One camper swore he heard a muffled whisper behind a tree, a voice calling his name, soft but urgent, and when he turned, the forest was empty. Their gear, set neatly by the fire, seemed to shift on its own. A backpack lay across the clearing, and later, the tent flapped open despite calm wind. Footprints appeared around the campsite, some too small, some too large, but they didn't match any of the 4. Cameras set to capture the firelight had been knocked over. When the footage was later reviewed, it showed static and sudden movements that no human hand could account for. Every sound, the snap of a branch, the rustle of leaves, made them jump. And still, the laughter of the fire faded, replaced by a tension that tightened with each passing minute. Then, just before midnight, the night broke open. The campers vanished. The fire burned low, sparks drifting into the dark, but the 4 friends were gone. The last camera, still recording, captured movement that was blurred, twisted. Figures appeared at the edge of the frame, tall, formless, moving against the trees as if the forest itself had grown legs. Screams echoed, sharp and broken, cutting through the trees, then there was silence. The wind stopped. The crickets stopped. Even the coyote's cry disappeared. Only the fire remained, flickering against the empty clearing. And when morning came, there was no one, nothing, except their abandoned camp, the scent of pine and smoke lingering, heavy and untouched. Search parties came, combing the forest for hours, days even. They found nothing. No tracks leading away, no trace of struggle, nothing. Just the forest, quiet, waiting. To this day, the forest keeps its secret. And sometimes, when the wind shifts just right, you can hear what sounds like faint whispers drifting between the trees. Would you dare camp here? Comment below if you think you could survive a single night. He had been walking for hours, the forest around him growing darker with every step. The air was heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves. Then he noticed them, small, flickering lights, darting between the trees. At first, he thought it was fireflies, or perhaps reflections from some distant campfire. But they moved too deliberately, drifting and hovering, almost aware of his presence. The leaves rustled underfoot, yet no wind touched them. The temperature dropped suddenly, chilling his skin, and beneath it all, a faint, low humming filled the air, an almost musical vibration that seemed to resonate in his chest. He froze, trying to listen, but the forest around him had gone quiet, every natural sound swallowed, leaving only the glow and the hum. He tried to walk away, moving cautiously, but the lights followed, keeping pace with him no matter which path he chose. Birds remained eerily silent, small animals fled in unusual directions, as if the forest itself had turned against him. His camera, recording for safety, began to shake with every step, catching strange flares of light, fleeting shadows that vanished the instant he looked directly at them. Something, he couldn't see it clearly, moved between the trees, a silhouette that was neither human nor animal. Every step forward seemed to draw the lights closer, and the humming grew louder, resonating inside his head, filling him with an impossible awareness that he was being watched, pursued by something patient and relentless. Then, in a clearing, he stopped. The lights hovered just beyond reach, spinning slowly, almost like they were circling him. And in that instant, he vanished. One moment he was there, the next, gone. His camera lay on the ground, still recording. The audio captured distorted breathing, growls, and whispers in a language he could not understand, layered over the faint hum of the lights. On the video, shadows darted across the screen, shifting unnaturally, until the final frame, eyes glowing in the darkness, fixed directly on the lens, watching, waiting, unblinking. And then, the screen went black. Authorities searched the area, combing every inch of the forest, but found nothing. No trace of him, no footprints, no evidence. Only the camera remained, silent witness to the night's impossible events. And to this day, the lights have never stopped hunting, moving silently between the trees, always waiting for the next traveler to wander too far. Which forest nightmare would you never survive? Comment below, if you dare. 3 nights. 3 forests. 3 nightmares that remain unsolved, still waiting. The campers who vanished without a trace, the hikers swallowed by fog and silence, and the traveler taken by the lights that hunt through the trees. Each story a warning, each forest holding secrets that refuse to let go. Watch closely, and you might catch them, the shadows at the edge of vision, the whispers riding the wind, the eyes that seem to follow you through the dark. These forests remember everything. And some nights, they are patient enough to wait for the next visitor. If you want more encounters with the unexplained, subscribe now, and step carefully, because the woods are listening.